Inter Sampdoria, live, Q titles.
Campionato di calcio italiano.
Today on Football Italia, it's old versus new. Inter Milan take on Sampdoria in Serie A's Game of the Day. Inter are the classic example of the big cities. Money, tradition and trophies since they were formed at the turn of the century. Sampdoria are a provincial side made good. Founded in 1946, they've become one of Italy's top teams over the past decade, achieving considerable domestic and European success on average gates that wouldn't even support Inter's day-to-day running costs. But the Genoese side are rich in talent, and they'll pose a very real threat to Inter's unbeaten home record this afternoon.
Se una squadra come l'Inter non ha queste paure, probabilmente concede troppo l'avversario, probabilmente sarà difficile parlare di vittoria se avremo queste paure.
Well, I think we really go out and try and play our own game and not really try and worry too much about the opposition. So we'll concentrate on attacking them and going at the defence, because I think most of the teams in Italy are very strong attack-minded, and they go. So if you can go at their weaknesses of defence, then you've got half a chance of getting the result.
Sampdoria were defending the title when Inter last visited the Luigi Ferrari Stadium. The Genoese side played like champions. Captain Roberto Mancini started the ball rolling with half an hour ago. The winger Italia Lombardo made it 2 in the second half after a breathtaking piece of control. A few minutes later, and Gianluca Vialli showed the kind of finishing which Juventus would pay £12 million for. Lombardo's second goal of the game put the finishing touches to Inter's humiliation. 4-0, their worst result since the early 70s. At the San Siro, the goals dried up. Neither side could break down the other's defence, and it finished 0-0. Both clubs were disappointed with their final standings. Neither qualified for Europe. Inter had their worst finish in years, and Sampdoria, beaten finalists in the European Cup, finished 6th, just one place from a UEFA Cup spot. Inter's miserable season came down to a lack of goals, just 28 in 34 games. Leading marksman was Jürgen Klinsmann with 7. Like the German striker, Gianluca Vialli moved on during the summer. Sampdoria's local hero scored 11 goals during his final season at the Luigi Ferraris, then left for Juventus. Sampdoria's Serie A record against Inter is miserable, just 12 wins in 40 seasons. However, over recent years, the tide has turned. Sampdoria have won 4 of their last 6 meetings. In January 1991, coach Giovanni Trapattoni announced his intention to leave Inter Milan. The club president, Ernesto Pellegrini, raised few objections. He had a replacement in mind. But the Swedish coach, Sven-Göran Eriksson, was under contract to Benfica, a contract he refused to break. Since then, both Corrado Orico and Luis Soares have tried and failed to replace Trapattoni. In the summer, Osvaldo Bagnoli took on the toughest job in Serie A, Inter's 3rd manager in a year. At Sampdoria, Vujadin Boskov left to join Roma. Sven-Göran Eriksson, free at last from contractual obligations, became the new boss. So today, he faces a club he could have coached and a team his players respect.
Io penso che l'Inter sia una squadra molto forte, molto valida, una squadra che può impensierire diciamo il Milan, anche se il Milan è sempre, come ho detto prima, una spanna superiore alle altre, ed è una squadra che sicuramente farà molto bene e sta facendo molto bene anche perché è un allenatore molto bravo che noi conosciamo molto per il fatto che ha lavorato qua a Genova.
While Inter rebuilt, Samp's new coach inherited a real problem. How do you replace VR? Mauro Bertorelli started the season in the number 9 shirt. 2 games, no goals, and he was dropped. Renato Busso has since led the line on 3 occasions, but his only goal so far came at the wrong end. Eriksson is now relying on captain Roberto Mancini up front and must be looking enviously at Inter's multi-million-pound strike force. A player like Ruben Sosa, Darko Panchev, or the injured Toto Schillaci could solve Sampdoria's problems in attack. But although Eriksson can't compete with the big money clubs, he has solid backing. Owner Paolo Mantovani has spent a considerable portion of his personal fortune on the club, and like his coach, is building for the future.
This team is still to be discovered. It's too early even for myself. And I would even introduce possibility that even for our coach, which is absolutely first-class gentleman and very capable man.
We have a young team, and we'll see if we can go on like we played last Sunday. You know, 2 weeks ago we had a disaster in Florence. We lost 4-0. So it's a little bit up and down so far, but I hope that we can do a good league.
Sampdoria's top scorer this season, midfielder Vladimir Jugovic, has scored 4 goals since arriving from Red Star Belgrade. Inter may have spent millions on their forward line, but again it's imported midfielders who lead the scoring charts. Matthias Sammer and Igor Shalimov have 8 goals between them so far. So this afternoon the goals could come from anywhere. Inter's early season form was distinctly shaky. Things looked up at Napoli in week 3, but dipped sharply in the Olympic Stadium. That 4-1 thrashing seemed to waken the club up. A superb 3-1 win over Juventus was followed last week by a convincing victory at Pescara. Inter in 3rd place and looking dangerous. Sampdoria have also bounced back from a crushing defeat. After an unbeaten start and some superb goals, they went to Fiorentina and lost 4-0. Sampdoria made amends in the best possible way. 4-1 win in the local derby against Genoa. That win put Sampdoria back in the top 5, 1 point behind Inter with a game in hand. So, a classic top-of-the-table clash in prospect. Join us after the break for Inter versus Sampdoria live.
From Peter Brackley, a very warm welcome to another Sunday offering of top-class football, Italian style, as the San Siro Stadium in Milan houses the day's most enticing fixture in Serie A. Internazionale, Inter as they're known, one of the true giants of the Italian game, at home to Des Walker's team, Sampdoria, European Cup finalists, of course, last season. And like Inter, a team with genuine title potential if they can maintain their promising start. A whole host of current, past and perhaps future internationals on show in this fabulous arena today. Inter lying 3rd in the table, Sampdoria 5th, a point behind with a game in hand. It's a contest that will have determined really the strength of their respective challenges behind Milan, the holders and championship favourites. Well, no Toto Schillaci for Inter today. Schillaci so impressive when we featured Inter's recent match with Juventus. He has a thigh injury. There's the Inter lineup. Osvaldo Bagnoli, the Inter coach, has been keeping his cards close to his chest. The late news, he's preferred Darko Panchev, the former Red Star Belgrade striker, to Matthias Sammer, the German who normally operates in midfield for Inter. Inter, of course, in the blue and black. And there's the Sampdoria team lineup. Des Walker wearing number 4. Marco Lana plays alongside him at the back. Pietro Vercovod is still out injured. And Eugenio Carini, the Italian under-21 star, has earned a midfield place in recent weeks. Carini number 6. And Michele Serena has come in to support Roberto Mancini, who may well be the one out-and-out striker for Sampdoria today. We'll have a look at their formation as the game develops. Inter attacking the goal to our left. A fine afternoon in Milan. This is Sosa on the chase with Des Walker. And we know all about his phenomenal pace, but Sosa's got the better of him there, aided by the corner flag. This is Jugovic. Another former Yugoslav who's been so prominent for Sampdoria in the early matches. 4 goals so far. And a lot of very enterprising runs from him too. A playmaker, a goal maker and a goal scorer. Lombardo now. The pitch in the San Siro much improved these days. It was relayed, of course, in the summer after they had a lot of problems. Sampdoria with a good record against Inter in recent times. Indeed, it was here 2 seasons ago. They beat Inter by 2 goals to 0 to more or less clinch the title. The first in the club's 54-year history. My co-commentator today is the former AC Milan player, now of course with Queen's Park Rangers, Ray Wilkins.
Good afternoon, everybody. I must say I'm a bit surprised that they've left Sammer out. Sammer, as we heard beforehand, is joint top goal scorer with Shalimov, and from midfield I thought they might leave Panchev up on his own and have Sammer and Shalimov joining in from deep. Of course, they've got Nicola Berti as well, who's known to score a few goals. But I was quite interested to hear Eriksen's views on his young side. That is the one problem with having a young team. They do blow hot and cold, and last week they had a fantastic win against Genoa, and he'll be looking for them to keep some sort of consistency.
It's a free kick to Inter. To be taken by Battistini, who scored twice for Inter last week in their impressive win away to Pescara. Is Ferry one of the markers at the back? Searching for Tramezzani, who's come in because of injury to De Agostini, the normal left-back in the Inter side. Lana. Sacchetti. He's taken over the left-back role from Lana for the time being, with Vercovod out through that injury. Vercovod out for a couple of weeks now. One back by Battistini for Inter. And they were ball watching there. Some careless play by Inter, giving possession back to Sampdoria. Walker almost lost out. Des Walker, who settled so well with Sampdoria, really enjoying life in Italy. They call him Johnny Walker after the whiskey. Sosa. Manini. Walker's pass to Lombardo. Familiar figure with that balding pate. Looks like a fast Ray Wilkins. That sent him off his seat. Another good win, though, yesterday, Ray. Well done.
Yes, we had a good time yesterday. It was super stuff. I must say it was nice to see Des Walker joining in the festivities after their win last week in Genoa. Des has often been criticised for not being too much of an extrovert, but that was nice to see last week.
Yes, he really got involved in the after-match celebrations.
And that's nice, because it's so important that our lads out there really get stuck into living the way of the Italians, and Des really does seem to be enjoying himself, not only football-wise, but in general life.
And they've certainly taken to him in Genoa. He's a great favourite already, and getting on very well with the other players too, he was saying. Settled in so well. That's good to see, and we all know the quality of his football. His pace, of course, so vital and important to Sampdoria in their efforts to keep themselves up among the challengers. There's Walker's header. Corini. Jugovic. 5 minutes gone, no score. Manini for Sampdoria. Pachev turning. Darko Pachev, who's not featured for Inter since the first couple of games of the season when Sosa has been preferred. Antostini hoisting it forward. Here's Berti. That familiar loping stride. But Sampdoria win it back again with Corini. Now in Venezia. Sampdoria swamping the midfield area. And they do get players forward in support of Mancini so quickly. Lombardo now. So we're going to see plenty of it down this right flank. Manini's pass. Shalimov to Berti. Intercepted though by Lombardo. A fairly furious start to the match in terms of the speed of the game. Jugovic. Incident off the ball there. The referee allowing play to go on. Manini, and he's certainly overhit his cross as it bobbled rather unkindly for him there.
Yes, and that was a great shame because that was some good steady build-up play from Sampdoria. That did their confidence the world of good. They held the ball nicely, moved it around nice and early, and as you say, Peter, it started off at a rapid old pace, and it's nice to see.
This is Shalimov, one of the 3 foreigners in the Inter side. Sosa and Pachev are the others, with Sammer, as we were saying, rather surprisingly left out. He's been playing so well. He scored 4 goals as well, and it must have been a very difficult decision for Bagnoli to omit him from the starting lineup. And indeed from the match altogether, no foreigners allowed on the bench, just 3 on the field. Referee today, Carlo Squizzato, who's not a man to mess about with. 87 games he's refereed in Serie A, and he's sent off 24. Given 26 penalties. One of them in a match featuring Inter last season when he also sent off Ferry. So I should think they're too pleased to see him out there in the middle today. Manini. Confident start by Sampdoria. Just the 1 defeat so far. That crushing setback at Fiorentina when everything went wrong for them. Mancini. Such an excellent distributor of the ball, Mancini, as well as being a great finisher. Great finish from you yesterday, Ray. A neat goal, which must have given you a lot of pleasure.
Yeah, it's good. Obviously, for me to score a goal gives me an enormous amount of pleasure anyway, Peter, but the result was the important thing from our point of view. Going back to Mancini, I think it's vitally important that Mancini takes a big part in every game that Sampdoria play now. He would be one of the more experienced players that they have, and when they have a young team, it's vitally important that he gets hold of the ball and starts to dictate the game.
I noticed you said nothing when I was talking about the referee sending off a lot of players after your caution yesterday at the end of the game.
Yeah, that was slightly unfortunate.
Dissent, I'm told. I'm surprised you had enough breath left at that stage, but you do well. Who were you talking to?
I was talking to Mr. Jones at the time.
Vinnie Jones. Yeah. Enough said. I'm sure it was very complimentary between the two of you. Corini. Lombardo. Here's Shalimov now for Inter. Pachev. A predatory finisher, Pachev, but the question mark has been over his mobility. I don't think Bagnoli feels that he contributes enough away from the penalty box. Of course, Schillaci is everywhere when he plays, isn't he?
Yes, that's right. It's a great shame Schillaci isn't playing, isn't fit to play, because he gives so much to every game in which he plays in, not only on the ball, but off the ball as well.
Sosa trying to link up with Pachev. Such a proven goal scorer, Darko Pachev, but just the 2 games in which to prove himself in Italy so far. And they weren't too successful, those early games for him, so he's had to sit them out since. There's Walker covering well to thwart Ruben Sosa. 10 minutes gone. Inter 0, Sampdoria 0 in the San Siro. Sosa, Shalimov. Good fall here. Chance for Pachev. He was quickly closed down though.
He was onto it very sharp as well, though, Peter. As the ball just dropped over the back of the defence, he was onto it very quickly. It's very difficult for the likes of Panchev, who's only played 2 games this season, because they don't have a reserve team. Therefore, his general match fitness won't be that of the rest of the side, and it's difficult for him to come in for the odd game.
That was Pachev with a header then. Good tackle by Ramazani. A fair one too. Ferry. Shalimov turning away from Lombardo. This is Bergomi, the captain of Inter. Now then to Bianchi. Almost fell there for Pachev. Could still fall for Sosa. And it was just hooked away at the last end. Meantime, there's an injury to Serena, the former Juventus player, and it was after that tackle by Tramezzani. What did you make of that one, Ray?
I thought that was a tremendous tackle, that, and I thought that sparked off a lovely bit of football. You had Inter playing some lovely one-touch stuff. Sampdoria trying to close them down as quick as they possibly could, but they were playing 1- and 2-touch around them and managed to get the ball switched across to the other side. Very good football indeed.
Serena, who came as part of the deal that took Vialli to Juventus. And he's featured in most of the games, but only started 2 or 3, I think, at the beginning. I don't know that he's going to finish this one unless they can get it repaired pretty quickly. Clearly took a buffeting from that challenge, which we certainly felt was a fair one, from Tramezzani. This is Bianchi. Taking the corner then for Inter. The whistle's gone. Free kick to Sampdoria.
I think that was one of the first times this season we've actually seen a side actually work out a corner kick. In Italy, we tend to get the ball just flung into the penalty area. Well, that one, they did appear that Bianchi did try to drop it into the near post for a flick-on.
Gianluca Pagliuca with a pretty poor goal kick then for Sampdoria. I was just about to praise him for his performances, but he could be called upon here as Pachev goes marauding through again. Pagliuca so outstanding for Sampdoria in recent seasons. Last season conceding just 31 goals in 34 league games. And of course very much a part of the championship side back in '91. Offside.
I think the problem that Sampdoria could be facing in actual fact is the fact they don't have an out-and-out forward player. Over the last couple of seasons, Mancini has been playing deeper and deeper, more of a midfield role. This season they don't seem to have an out-and-out centre forward where the balls can be played up, and there is a constant player occupying defenders. Mancini's doing his best today, obviously, but it's going to be a difficult task.
Well, here's Bianchi now. Good running by Berti, and he was caught. And he's given the penalty. No hesitation from the referee. The penalty has been given as Berti went down. There's Walker with the challenge.
I think quite rightly so as well. Des was a bit hasty there. Lombardo had actually tracked the run of Berti, and I think he may well have just ushered that ball off of the field, but Des has made a bit of a lunge at Berti and brought about the penalty.
It was a tremendous burst of pace though by Nicola Berti, and it's earned a penalty then for Inter, which Ruben Sosa is going to take for them. He's scored once already from the spot this season. Here's the kick. Oh, Pagliuca saved it. Well, he seemed to be diving the wrong way, and it hit him on the legs. And he has rescued his team. Dismay for Sosa and for Inter, who have squandered the chance to go ahead.
It was a superbly struck penalty, but Pagliuca, just leaving the trailing leg there, has managed to volley it away, volleyed it 30 yards. they'd be very disappointed with that because the game started off very brightly. Here we see it again. He elects to drive it with the outside of his left foot, but obviously not connecting properly and getting it far enough into the corner.
Fabulous reaction save by Paliuka, who does specialise in saving penalties. And indeed, he was a man possessed really in the corresponding fixture a couple of seasons back when Inter were beaten here by Sampdoria. So clearly he likes playing against them. Paliuka away. They've won 4 of the 6 meetings, the last 6 meetings, Sampdoria, between them and Inter. And last season's 4-0 success over Inter in Genoa was the worst defeat that Inter have suffered in 19 seasons. In towards Pachev. Paliuka fisting it away. I would have thought he could have caught that one then easily enough. Can be a little on the eccentric side on occasions, Paliuka, but no doubt he's an excellent goalkeeper. And he has rescued his team with that penalty save in the early stages here.
Yeah, with the punch there, Peter, obviously with it being a young side that Eriksson has together here, it would have been nice to actually see him catch that and relieve a bit of pressure. He's come out to a ball which was quite easy for him to catch. He wasn't even going to be opposed by anybody, but he elected to punch and again put his team back into a little bit of pressure when a catch would have relieved a hell of a lot of it.
Jugovic going through. It's a great run by him. Well, he looks a fabulous signing. Jugovic scored that spectacular goal in the opening game, I recall, back against Lazio. Didn't really get hold of that one then, but what a great run through, Ray.
It's a fantastic one too, wasn't it? Mancini making a great angle for him, and Jugovic unfortunately just slicing the ball away, but he has had a very, very good start to his Italian career, and he's only a young guy as well, and it's nice to see.
Ferri to Sosa, neat touch off. Sosa goes through again. And it was Lana with the saving tackle. Lana switched back into the centre of the defence now with Vierkevord out. Sacchetti going to left back, as I mentioned earlier on. So Lana's been changed around a bit. Used to be the sweeper in the side, very versatile defender. And now in the Italian lineup as well, with 2 international appearances now. Of course, the news this week, Ray, which I expect you caught, that Baresi has changed his mind and decided to play for Italy again, which is good news for everyone, I think, in world football.
It's great news for everybody bar Scotland, who play them at Ibrox very shortly.
Yeah, they won't be too pleased to hear that. He's not a bad player, that Baresi.
Oh, one.
Bianchi, that's a useful cross into, just too close, though, to Paliuka, who elected not to punch that one. Ramazani under pressure from Serena. Just won by Walker ahead of Pachev. Lombardo now trying to drive through the middle, and his thrusting run was curtailed by the formidable figure of Bergomi, one of the toughest defenders in world football.
Yes, I think Bergomi knew exactly what he was doing there. He didn't want Lombardo to get a free run at anybody, and he definitely dragged him down.
Does pose such a threat, Lombardo, when he sets off on those surging runs. Now Carini is there, and Lana. It's a fair way out here, even for the striking potential of some of these players. And that's gone harmlessly wide.
Yeah, that is slightly ambitious. I think you're edging on nigh on 40 yards there for someone to score past a goalkeeper of the quality of Zenga. It'd have to come out of a cannon, I would have thought.
Off goes Sosa on the chase. Paliuka, a comfortable catch. Now Manini, who late in his career has earned international call-ups of late under Arrigo Sacchi. Italy, of course, played the zonal defence, and so does Sampdoria. So that's enhanced his prospects, really. Beatti's not the most popular man in club football away from his own side. He's a very volatile character and a very outspoken one, too. Nick touch off by Lombardo. Mancini now. Caught by Shalimov. As we approach the halfway point in the first half, down goes Mancini. Now without his front-running partner, of course, Vialli. So a lot resting on his shoulders this season.
A hell of a lot. I think he was a bit annoyed with his teammates. I don't think he was aware that Shalimov was on his back, and he was waiting for a call from somebody to release the ball.
Carini organising this free kick. Jugovic for once taking no part. Away by Battistini. There's Walker. Tramezzani under pressure from Serena. And he started pretty confidently. Tramezzani, it's his first start in Serie A.
That was terrific composure, that holding off Serena there. That was very nice to see from Tramezzani, a young guy having the confidence to hold people off and just play the ball away. Very nice.
Offside against Sosa. As you can see, he was pretty incensed by the decision.
He looked pretty close as well.
Might have a case, I think. Eriksson, the coach of Sampdoria, having taken over from Bojan Boskov, who had so much success, of course, with Sampdoria, so it's a hard act to follow. Great pass set from Mancini. Venezia now. Chance to cross it in. That was deflected. But he, I think, wanted Zenga to come for that one. Sosa. Quickly closed down by Manini. All very tight out there. Nothing much to choose between the two teams. The best chance, of course, falling to Sosa with that penalty. Sampdoria have opened brightly too, without really extending Zenga in any way. Tramezzani, a youth product who's come through the ranks. Been out on loan for a while. And in today because of De Agostini's injury. Carini. Not a bad effort either, which Zenga had to watch all the way down by his post there, just checking to see where the post was.
He's had an impressive start to the game, Carini. That was a nice effort from a long way out. A dodgy bouncing ball just in front of Zenga there, but in the finish he had it well covered.
I think Eriksson was rather reluctant to include him at first, but he's come into the side, done extremely well, Carini. So much so that back in October, Inter actually inquired about him and were told the price tag now was 7 million. So that put them off a bit. But he's a lifelong Inter fan, actually, Carini. So he'll be hoping to impress against them today. Battistini. There's Manini. Well read, though, by Shalimov. Manini again. Shalimov prepared to battle with him. Jugovic. Lombardo's gone off on a run. Mancini looking for the touch on, then Serena. Serena included today in preference to Chiesa, who has been in the starting lineup. Switch made by Eriksson to include Serena, mainly operating wide on the right, it would seem, with Lombardo having a more central role. Now Sosa's in the clear again, and Panchev almost knocked out of his stride. Still Panchev, and Pagliuca able to smother it at the last. Oh, they were living dangerously then, Sampdoria.
Yeah, they certainly were. That was a good effort from Inter there. I think Des got caught with his back to the play, and he didn't realise where he was, and Sosa was able to just nick the ball into Panchev, who was a little bit slow in reacting.
Maybe just lacking that sharpness that you mentioned earlier on, Ray, not having played so many games.
It's very important, that, especially when you're playing in a league which is so competitive as the Italian league, that you have these games and you keep playing football. Unfortunately for Panchev, he hasn't had that this season, and he's going to struggle for a while to get into the pace of the game.
It was Berti involved with Jugovic, and well, there's a substitution being made here. I think it's Paganini who's coming on. We haven't had the official list of substitutes. It is indeed Paganini, who's a utility player. Battistini has gone off. So I can't believe that's a tactical switch at this early stage.
Well, I think they're going to go flat back four by the looks of it, with Ferry and Bergamy picking up.
Good turn by Pachev, not the finish third of match. I must admit, I didn't see any injury to Battistini.
No, I didn't either, but it's been quite evident that Bianchi hasn't really been an attacking force for Inter. He's been mainly looking after Invernizzi on the left-hand side, or Inter's right-hand side, and consequently hasn't been able to get forward.
That's the problem for Inter, really, isn't it? It's all very well having man-to-man markers. There's no one for them to mark, really.
Well, that's right. That's the problem that they face, Peter. That's a very good point to pick up on, is the fact that they've got no one playing up there, Sampdoria. So, really, they're playing with the sweeper. There's three guys occupying nobody. And that's not the best situation to be in, especially when the onus is upon you, when you're playing at home, to do a bit of the attacking.
Carini. Great decision, though, for the coach to make, if that is what has happened. So early on in the game, having made your choice from the off. Now, Serena, policed by Riccardo Ferri, one of the world's most accomplished markers.
Well, I think it's a wise decision as well, because we didn't really see Battistini getting out of the back and coming in and making the extra man in the middle of the field and starting the game off. So I think that's quite a wise decision. He's got Ferri and Bergamy there, two very, very experienced defenders that I'm sure will look after any problems.
Sosa now. And Paliuca, I don't think he got a hand to that. It was going wide anyway, obviously. But Sosa looking very sharp up front, and Walker and co have got to keep him under close scrutiny.
He's made some very, very intelligent runs, breaking off the shoulders of defenders. We see him do it again there, and Des was a little bit slow getting across to him. He should have got across and blocked that shot.
It's where he's so dangerous, Sosa, when teams like Inter break so quickly, and he's on the end of it. 4 seasons in a row, he was the top scorer with Lazio. 13 again last season, the same tally as Karl-Heinz Riedler. But of course, he's missed a penalty today. Zenga's clearance, he was under a little bit of pressure. That's what the back pass rule does. Sacchetti taking the throw. Paganin. Sosa, we handle that. Just looking for the referee, see what he was going to do about it. I think it's just a free kick. Clearly snaked out an arm then, Sosa.
I think he was
pass,
trying
actually.
Yeah, I think he was trying to explain that he fell off balance, so the ref wouldn't book him.
Sure, that's what it was. Couple of latest scores just coming in. Roberto Baggio has scored for Juventus. It's against Udinese. And, well, no surprise, I suppose, Marco van Basten has scored for Milan. What do you know? That's against Napoli. So Milan already leading there in the Sao Paulo Stadium. Mancini trying to force his way through. Tramezzani, though, coming away with it. My word, he's made a forceful start. A promising run, too. Didn't quite manage to link up, though, with Pachev. Lombardo. Shalimov. Sosa having to ride the tackle, which was a pretty fierce one.
And it's nice to see him get up as well. I think that's been one of the highlights of the Italian game this year, is that players haven't really dwelt on the fact that they've been kicked. They've actually got up and got on with the game, and it's been nice to see.
Sven Eriksson, who's seen his team almost concede a goal, of course, from the penalty spot, and one or two other near misses as well. Lombardo away from Desideri. Very planting it forward in search of Pachev or Sosa and Desideri. In goes Sosa, just got a touch then. Ramazani, there's no flag. Desideri, yes, it's up now. It'll be belatedly.
Yeah, it was a late flag, but I think he was just offside as well. A great ball through again. Tramezzani really has started the game very well indeed. Here we see it again. Picks him out, but as you can see, he is, I would imagine, fractionally offside.
Manini.
think that was Ruben Sosa there getting a bit of attention. He looks as if he might have broken a tyre.
Nasty injury there. Paganin forcing Mancini wide and getting the better of him. Crunching in. There's Bergomi. Interesting comparison today, Ray, between the two goalkeepers. Zenga here, of course, he was very much the #1 choice for so long for the Italian team. Pagliuca, one of the challengers for his crown, and even he now is behind Marcogiani.
Yes, that's right, but I would imagine they will both come back into contention after the unfortunate errors that Marcogiani made against the Swiss side. Zenga is the old head, the experienced man with all the ability as well, and I think Sacchi may plumb for him very, very shortly.
Having said that about Marcogiani, of course, he was brilliant last week against Milan. Absolutely outstanding, some tremendous saves, particularly in that thrilling finale when Milan came so close to scoring. Still no goals in this game so far. Desideri. It's a foul. Just caught then by Carini. Desideri, who may well be playing his last game for Inter. He's set to move to Udinese. And he's part of a swap deal, which apparently brings Manicone the other way to Inter. So he'll be anxious to make an impact if this is to be his last appearance for Inter. He hasn't really settled here since his move from Roma. And really only playing today because of the switch around with Sammer having to stand down. This is Lana. Now Carini. Towards Mancini. Finally away by Bergomi. Good jump then by Manini. And it's a foul by Serena. Tramezzani, the player going down. Paganin. Shalimov was given that one away. Sacchetti. And again, some pretty hopeful shooting then by Sampdoria. No problem for Walter Zenga, such an experienced goalkeeper. He's having a quiet chat with the crowd. Seen it all before. Bergomi. He's been around a while as well, played in the World Cup finals of '82, of course.
And still only 28, Bergomi.
Amazing, isn't it?
Amazing.
There's one other survivor still playing today from that squad. Do you know who that is? That's a question for you, Ray. 1982.
Baresi.
No, he didn't play in the side, Baresi. In the Italian team. Just to stay with this attack for a moment first. There's almost a goal then for Mancini as Ray gets his record books out. And a good chance for Mancini.
That was a great chance. You'd expect Mancini to put that away. It's a hell of a pass as well. That really is pinpoint stuff. Mancini making a great run on the back post. A superb volleyer in his own right, Mancini, and you really have expected him to have hit the target with that one. And that's the only worthwhile chance that Sampdoria have actually had inside the penalty area. They've had a couple of speculative shots from long range, but that's the first time they've actually got in close and had a go at them.
He'll be disappointed he didn't tuck that one away then, Mancini. Certainly, as Ray is saying, the best opening they've conjured up so far. Carini, I think it was, with the pass through. Glorious ball. And a let off this time then for Inter. Shalimov, who's the playmaker in the Inter side. Nothing on for him there, though. Now, what can Jugovic do here? Surrounded by blue and black shirts. Berti. Now Ferri. It was Colavati, who's now with Genoa. Right.
Very good,
side.
yes, very good. You done me there, Peter.
Wasn't my statistic, somebody else gave it to me. Our Italian researcher. It's Lombardo touching it through. Ray Della Pietra, our Italian researcher, who can tell me what Colivati had for breakfast that morning as well, I'm sure. Walker. And there's plenty from the two Rays, also Ray Wilkins in our new Channel 4 book, which just has come out. So look out for that one, Football Italia on Channel 4. And it's available now. There's Lombardo. Bergamy appealing. And I think the corner has been given, despite the protests of the Inter defenders.
That was another super run and super pass. That Lombardo made a run from a long way out, good 30-40 yards out, and I think it was Manini that put him through. Excellent football.
Now Mancini with the corner. Shalimov guarding the near post. Held tantalizingly over too. It was Lana with the header and Zenga with the catch. Paganin. Clumsy tackle.
Yeah, it was a bit of a clumsy old lunge up, wasn't it? We've seen a lot of those in football this year.
Jugovic was very late on Paganin, who's a former Sampdoria player. Paganin had 4 seasons there, so they know all about him. Serena, rather casual layoff though, not a confident one from Serena, who's rather struggled to make any impact on the game so far. Well, one back though by Lana initially, and the shot flies wide. And the game has just lost its way a little bit, Ray, in the last few minutes.
Yes, it has. We had a very bright start, and as you quite rightly say, Pete, it has lost its way. But Sampdoria will be very pleased with the way the result's going anyway. They're holding Inter, possibly one of the form teams of the Italian league at the moment. They're holding them very well, and they've had a couple of chances themselves with the Mancini effort. But they'll be quite pleased with the way the first half's gone as far as the result is concerned.
And news that Juventus are now leading Udinese by 3-0. So they're having a good day. One of the other rivals, the likes of Inter and Sampdoria for the title, although of course Milan very much the team to catch. And there's still a goal up away to Napoli, who are struggling. Lana underneath this one. Foul by Jugovic. Lapped up by Invernizzi. Now Sosa lining this one up. Again, it's a fair distance out to be thinking about a shot. But with some of these fellows, you never quite know what they're going to do. There's Sosa driving it through, and it might have got a touch on that could have embarrassed Paliuca.
Again, that's very, very ambitious from Sosa. But I think that one of the main things that's come out... I'll hang on there for 1 second.
Here's Sosa now, threatening to create more damage. And Berti got a foot to it, but could do no more. Shalimov wins it back well, showing good competitive aggression there. Bianchi now, Shalimov. Inter trying to get a stranglehold on this game. Still Shalimov. Ramazani taking on Serena, who concedes the throw. Sampdoria on the retreat here. Sosa. Losing out though. That's a free kick to Sampdoria.
Yes, I was going to say before we just saw Shalimov there do a little bit on the ball. Shalimov really hasn't been in the game that much today, and I think it's without having Sammer in there with him. They seem to have forged a very, very nice partnership in there. Now his mate has been taken away, and it seems to have affected his performance as well. And I think the fact that Sammer isn't playing has affected Inter's performance, because he's always in there, he's busy, he's controlling the game. And I think, if anything, that's one of the reasons why Inter haven't really fired on all cylinders.
Bianchi. Samra himself, I know, was very disappointed when they were talking about leaving him out. And pretty amazed, too, I think. They might even contemplated it, the way he was playing. And that's what's happened. And with 5 minutes of the first half to go, Inter without Samra, still finding Sampdoria hard to break down. Sosa on towards Daisy Derry, and Daisy Walker covering his run. And Paluca able to make the save.
That was some very nice football from Inter there, culminating in that lovely little chip through. Des ushering it back to Paluca, who actually lost that. Desiderio was a bit sharper. He may well have got a little toe in on that to put that in. But they're working hard, Sampdoria, defensively. They're all trying to get behind the ball, wanting to have it, and making it very tough for them to break them down.
Sampdoria free kick. Lana and Carini overseeing it. Left for Lana. Another ferocious strike, but again from such a long way out. And it almost seems a waste of time.
Zenga actually looked at that ball as it was coming at him with almost with contempt, as if to say, well, how dare you have a shot and move from that distance.
I think that's right. Ferry. Bergomi. He's now lost his international place. Indeed, Manini, his opposite number in the Sampdoria side, is the current incumbent. The right back position for Italy. Walker clears away, and there's a little bit of disarray at the back then among those Sampdoria defenders. Paluca unhappy. Breakdown in communications. On by Berti. Didn't fall for Pachev. Pachev, who's been very unhappy and has been talked about wanting to go home. He's only been with the club a few weeks. That's the problem so many coaches are going to have with unsettled players who can't get in the team because of the ruling over the foreign players. Somebody has to be left out when there are more than 3 in the squad.
It is a funny thing with players, Peter. They actually know that situation before they sign their contract, and it's all very well when the nice money enters the bank, but when they don't get selected, then they have a little grumble, and they're going into something they know everything about. I think it's a bit sad when they turn around and start having a pop at the side they're playing for.
Sacchetti. I think the Inter fans in the stadium becoming a little disgruntled now. They were hoping for more from their team. And you wonder what might have happened if that penalty had gone in, and that'll settle them down.
It's just what the game needs as well. It needs a goal. It needs something to pick this game up, because unfortunately the last quarter of an hour or so it has died a little bit.
Manini. He's lost it though to Sosa. Whips over the cross. And Pachev was in there so quickly then. Couldn't make the decisive touch.
Fantastic football, Peter, from Sosa there. Robin Peck, I think it's Pagan in and just whipping the ball in as early as he possibly can.
Shot from Mancini. Zenga's not really had too much to do. That one chance that Mancini had, really, but didn't need a save from Zenga.
No, I think Zenga's only had to make one save. That was down to his left-hand post from Carini's long shot. And really, when you look at the players that Sampdoria had, that's not really good enough from their point of view.
Desideri. Looking for Pachev. He's hoping to find Bianchi. There's a great ball in just now by Sosa, who has such tremendous vision, bringing other players into the game as well as scoring goals himself with that lethal left foot of his. And no one will be more disappointed than Sosa that Inter aren't at least one goal up, having wasted that penalty kick.
Yeah, the important thing about that pass that he whipped across the face of the box was how early he hit it. It doesn't give defenders a chance if you hit it in there early.
Didn't give it a second thought, did he? Lombardo now. We're nearly getting Jugovic in. We're now into time added on for stoppages in the first half. Lombardo for Sampdoria. Flags up. Offside against Mancini. More frustration for Sampdoria. But they won't be too unhappy with the way the match is going so far, having, you could see in a way, taken Inter to the break without conceding a goal.
I think that's a little bit unfortunate there. Serena seems to have gone in nicely for that ball and come away with it.
Ferry taking the free kick. Pachev climbing high. In goes Berti with Manini. And it's a corner to Inter in the dying seconds of the first half. So maybe time for one late flourish from them. Bianchi wants to take it quickly. Saw the aerial power of Pachev just now. Again tucked into the near post. Lombardo away. Too easily dealt with from Inter's point of view. And there is the half-time whistle. So a bright opening to the half. Never quite lived up to that, though. But Sven Eriksen's team holding on with Sosa missing the penalty. A fine save by Pagliuca. And just the one real chance for Sampdoria, missed by Roberto Mancini, when he will certainly feel he should have scored. No goals then in the first half in the San Siro. We'll be back after the break with Gazza's golden goals. So join us again in a couple of minutes.
Welcome back. Have a look at these golden goals. 6 of the best from Serie A last weekend. Match your top 6 with Paul Gascoigne's and you could win a luxury trip to Italy and some exciting computer games. Goal number 1, Maurizio Gans for Atalanta in their 3-2 win over Napoli. Goal 2, Dino Baggios for Juventus against Ancona. Goal 3, Roberto Baggio, also for Juventus in their 5-1 victory. Goal number 4, Michele Padovano, Genoa's only goal against Sampdoria. Goal 5, Inter's Igor Shalimov against Pescara. Goal 6, Luis Oliveira's winning goal for Cagliari against Fiorentina. Now, when you've made your choice, ring us on 0891 555 444. The first caller picked out by our computer when our lines close next Friday wins this computer pack featuring a new exciting football game, and they'll also go into a draw for a dream trip for 2 to the Italian Cup final at the end of the season. And for 5 runners-up, one of these exciting football games featuring teams in Italian club strips. The winner of Gazza's last Golden Goals competition, who goes off to see AC Milan at Lazio, is Mr. David Mercer from Beaconsfield in Buckinghamshire. His choice, 3rd place, Ruben Sosa for Inter against Juventus. 2nd place, Eddie Bibi for Pescara against Genoa. And in 1st place, Gabriel Battistuta for Fiorentina against Sampdoria. These 5 runners-up also picked them in the correct order, which was 3, 6, 1. Finally, a reminder of this week's 6 goals. lines are open until next Friday. The winners will be chosen then and announced at this time in our next live programme, which is on November 22nd. For further details of the competition, you can turn to page 465 of Foretel, Channel 4's teletext service.
Can I kick it? Yes, you can. 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 Kick it. Sempre più drammatica verso la porta, avanzano due, e Giovanassi che passa Gulli passa Maldini, gol! Gol! Bellissimo! Can I kick it? Yes, you can. You can.
Welcome back to Football Italia on Channel 4. So no goals in the San Siro at the end of the first half as we await the teams for the start of the second half. Inter nil, Sampdoria nil. A little bit disappointing, one has to say. But we do have some goals for you, or news of them elsewhere. Ancona are leading Brescia by 2-1. Agostini with the first goal, and then Deitari, the Hungarian. That's 6 for him now this season. Ancona 2-1 up against Brescia. Atalanta 2, Foggia 1. Biagioni for the penalty spot for Foggia, but Atalanta's goals from Rambaldi and Perini, that's given them a 2-1 lead. Fiorentina 2, Roma 0, Iachini and Orlando the scorers for Fiorentina. Genoa 2, Cagliari 1, Padovano and Panucci for Genoa, and Napoli with the lone reply from Cagliari. Juventus are going really well against Udinese, 4-1 up, and that's a hat-trick for Roberto Baggio. Pellegrini, an own goal, with the other one for Juventus, and Balbo, that's 7 for him this season for Udinese, but his team in deep trouble there, 4-1 down at half-time. Lazio 0, Torino 0, and Thomas Doll has been sent off for Lazio. No goals yet so far. Not sure if Gazza's playing in that one. We'll try and give you news of that later. Napoli 0, Milan 2, and Marco van Basten has scored both the goals on 6 minutes and 27. So they're well in command there, and it's Parma 0, the bottom club Pescara 0. So Carlo Squizzato about to start the second half here. Ray, your thoughts as they prepare for the kickoff?
I just hope that we get the first 20 minutes of the first half, the whole of the second half. I thought it started off very well indeed, some good football being played, some good hustling, especially from Sampdoria. But then the game did seem to die away a little bit. Had Sosa scored the penalty, we might have had a different first half, but let's keep our fingers crossed for a very entertaining second.
Well, it's certainly looking good so far from Sampdoria's point of view as the away side. They won't be too dissatisfied if it stays at 0-0, but we'll hope they'll be ambitious in the second half and try to win it. Darko Pachev not really got into the game so far. 1 or 2 sharp pieces of play from him when he looks as if he might do something. But otherwise, really a rather disappointing half for him. Controversially brought in place of Matthias Sammer with Scalacci out through injury. And straight away, Bianchi is penalised. I'd like to see more of him in this second half, Bianchi.
Yes, that's right. He's a very exciting player, and we didn't see any of him in the first half. And hopefully Inter will take it upon themselves to do a bit of attacking and get Bianchi in the game.
Serena now. Mancini's pass falls back for Serena, and it was a very tame finish from him. It fell back into his path somewhat fortuitously, and he made a mess of it really anyway. Berti now then trying to find Bianchi. As a sloppy pass though by Berti. Perini. Here's Manini. He had Lombardo outside him. He's chosen the other route, though, to Serena. Carini with Mancini. Now Lombardo. The man they call Popeye. Dangerous ball whipped in. Too near to Montezenga.
He's had a good game, Carini, I think. I remember seeing him play last year for the Italian under-21 side when they won that tournament, the European Championships in Sweden. He looked a very good player then. I think he's played very well today. Nice and composed in the middle of the field and good use of the ball.
Yes, he was the captain of that under-21 side, which grew victorious at the European Championships. And really beginning to make his presence felt now in this Sampdoria side, having struggled to get into the team in the early matches. Had some rejuggling to do when Mancini was out for a spell through suspension. So Eriksson brought him in then. And it's looked a good move. And he's kept his place even though, of course, Mancini has returned. Sosa, lovely piece of play. Didn't link though with Daisy Denny. Ramazani. He's had a very positive game down that left flank, as well as showing his defensive qualities. Shalimov. In by Ramazani towards Berti. Pachev down. Now Bianchi. Oh, he's taken it too far, surely. And Paliuka, in the end, wasn't extended.
Oh, that was a shame. That was tremendous awareness from Panchev playing that ball on the volley, on the turn. And Bianchi's first touch let him down. But there you see Panchev getting back in across the near post and the hope that Paliuka would drop the ball.
Fine work by Pachev to set up Bianchi then, and that'll do his confidence no harm. Darko Pachev, they call him the Cobra. He certainly showed his awareness in the penalty box. Carini now. Here's Manini. Carini. Swept in towards Mancini, but Shalimov able to clear now then for Inter. Berti riding the tackle. The referee waiting to blow his whistle, decides against it. Play goes on, and he's kept the game flowing. If that's the right word for it.
Yes, he did well there. That was
trying to
all
blow
over.
his whistle.
That's right, that was all over the place, the game at that moment in time, wasn't it?
Jugovic. Just for the moment here, Sampdoria dictating the pace, which is pretty slow. That's Bianchi back defending. Away by Bergomi. Pachev down for Sosa. And he was wrestled to the ground then by young Sacchetti. They've taken the free kick too quickly. It's going to be a yellow card, I think, for Sacchetti.
Yeah, it's going to be a yellow card, and that is unfortunate because that's the first foul that I think Sacchetti has committed all game, and it's in the centre circle. I don't think Sosa was going anywhere, but the referee's taken upon himself to book it.
Stefano Sacchetti, just 20 years old. Signed from his hometown team, Modena, in the summer. Serena.
I think Serena's another ideal indication of a guy that doesn't really play that often in the side. His touch has been right out, really. That pass there was so overhit, it was a bit embarrassing.
Now Lana. And Bonizzi doing well. And now Manini pulled into the play. Here's Jugovic with Manini. There's Walker. Serena. Don't think he'd seen Sosa though. Maybe didn't get a call from his teammates. Now the searing pace of Sosa might have threatened there. Again, the Sampdoria defence holding firm. with Pagliuca in control. Well, the coach isn't too happy, Sven Eriksson. Bianchi towards Pachev. Away by Lana, only as far as Berti. Now Shalimov. Desideri. Little flick off, which almost fell for Pachev. Bianchi drives it through, and a marvellous save by Pagliuca. Terrific reactions then from the Sampdoria goalkeeper.
Oh, that was super football. That was a great ball in from Desideri, and we saw a tremendous flick from Sosa, and the shot coming in from Bianchi, and a good save from Pagliuca.
7 minutes into the second half. Sosa with the corner.
Sosa's looked very bright, hasn't he? He's been all over the place. He's been trying to give little give and goes, and he just made a tremendous give and go in a run of about 30-odd yards, and the keeper just came out and cleared it.
Now Sosa will try again. Variation this time. Looking for the height and the expertise of Pachev in the air. Berti's header down. Pachev was in there sniffing. It's a real predator around the 6-yard box, Darko Pachev. Former European Golden Boot Award winner, of course, from his days with Red Star Belgrade, that outstanding team that Red Star had when they won the European Cup and indeed the World Club Cup. The showing of another goal. And Lazio have taken the lead against Torino, Paul Gascoigne's team, Lazio. And it's Signori, that's 10 now for him, the same tally as Van Basten, who's got 2 today. Torino, of course, second in the table, having held Milan last week to that goalless draw, so they're now behind against Lazio. And another goal, and Kona are now 3-1 up against Brescia, so they're in charge there. And Kona 3, Brescia 1. Paganin with a header away. This is Shalimov. Inter, of course, desperate for success this season, having finished 8th last term. That's their worst for 17 years. And the pressure on such a big club is always there. They have to achieve success. Sosa, now Bianchi, who's certainly more prominent in the second half, as we were hoping he would be from the game's point of view. Sacchetti comes away from it now, feeding Lombardo. One back by Bianchi. Shalimov has Pachev in support, but he was going nowhere then, and eventually fouled Shalimov by Manini. So there's danger here for Sampdoria.
Yeah, Shalimov, he plays for his free kick there, plays it through the legs of Manini and just falls over him. But it's nice to see Bianchi getting in the game. When Bianchi gets in the game, giving him into that little bit of width, you can always feel that there's something going to materialise.
Bianchi, who's the one Inter player in the Italian squad at the moment. And he was certainly a great favourite of Trapattoni when he was with Inter, the famous coach. Some urgent instructions from Pagliuca. Sosa is there. And there's Sosa whipping the free kick, but over the bar. Ruben Sosa, who'll be missing his front-running partner Schillaci. They formed such a formidable partnership up front. It's such a busy pair when Schillaci's playing. There's so much movement from these two. But Sosa rather wasting the free kick this time. And you wonder how costly that penalty miss is going to be. Jugovic trying to thread his path to goal. No way past Tramezzani. He's a very competitive player. On from Pachev for Sosa to chase. Walker has gone with him. And that's his real strength, his asset. There's Walker, his tremendous pace over a short distance there. And there was no chance of Sosa getting away from him.
It was good covering from Des. That was good movement from Sosa, but Des was after him like a shot. And as the Forest fans used to say, you'll never catch Des Walker or beat him.
Absolutely. But in to have the corner, which Daisy Derry is taking for them. Patchev going in, swept away though by Serena. Here's Ferry. I think everybody looking round to see if there was a flag then. But I don't think there was an offside infringement.
There's just a bit of frustration there from Ferry. He'd been far better off just retaining possession of the ball and waiting for that opening to appear. I suppose when you're at home, when the crowd are getting on your back a little bit, you try to force things. But it'd be better for him. He's an experienced old head. It'd be better for him to get the side plan and get the ball passed around a bit.
He's actually been playing very well too, Riccardo Ferri. And there has been talk that he will be recalled to the Italian national team after their struggles against Switzerland.
Yeah, I think a man-for-man marker, I don't think there's many better guys about than Ferri. He's a very, very consistent performer.
Lombardo. Away by Bagonin. Mancini. Easily dealt with though by Shalimov. Now Bianchi. Shalimov again. But it to have given it away. Des Walker just tidily into the path of Manini. Nothing too clever from Des Walker. Doesn't want to give the ball away.
They're hounding very well, Sampdoria. They're hounding in packs, 2s and 3s are going after them all the time. And that's the way to hustle. That's the way to press teams. If you go singular, you'll get picked off. But they're going as a group.
They've got players forward here. There's Bergamy with a header away. But it's a throw to Sampdoria. Who certainly haven't come here just to defend, much as they would settle up short for a point. They can sneak another goal, or a goal. It would be their reward for some persistence. Certainly stuck to their task well.
This is an opportunity for him. Mancini's a tremendous crosser of the ball from these situations. If he gets a good ball in, you've got the likes of Lano, who's a big lad, can get in on the end of it. They don't look too ambitious with the amount of players they're trying to get in the box.
Well, they have posted Lana forward. He's just on the edge of the 18-yard box, making his way now inside it. But Zenga untroubled.
I think you can gather by the amount of players that they put forward there that they really are playing for the draw, which I find from a dead ball situation quite strange, really.
Shalimov. Untidy touch, though, from Berti.
He was put under enormous pressure, though, Peter. It was good hustling again from Sampdoria. That's tremendous defensive play from the midfield players there.
Invernizzi. Now Lombardo. Misunderstanding, which called out Lombardo.
We caught a glance of Busso there on the bench. It would be nice to see the introduction of Busso. He's a forward that can score goals. He's got that little nose for the goal around the penalty area. It'd be nice to see him brought in.
Well, he was the man they were lining up to replace Vialli, but he didn't impress in the early games apparently. So he's had to sit on the bench for most of this season so far. Carini conceding the corner, and it's Ruben Sosa to again examine the Sampdoria defence. Aliuka underneath it, having to fist it away. Berti into players appealing for a handball, nothing given. Here's Sosa now. Shalimov. Again failing to hit the target. Shake of the head from Shalimov. Maybe only a half chance, but he would have hoped to have at least produced a save from Paliuka.
Yeah, he hits the ball very well, Shalimov, from those areas, and I think he'll be disappointed not to have hit the target. But that was good play from Nicola Berti there, standing out about 35 yards out. Kept the pressure on Sampdoria, kept Sosa wide and fed him with a nice pass.
Lana taking the goal kick. About an hour now. Still no sign of a goal. Patchev beaten in the air. Shalimov. Trying to get through. It wasn't a good pass. Invernizzi was clattered there. And now Serena on the break for Sampdoria. No way through for Mancini. Zenga has to play it. Well, he seemed pretty cool. A bit too cool, I would have thought. Very laid back. Tramezzani away. There's a player laid out at the moment. And Invernizzi had to tread over him there. And Lombardo kicks it out to allow the player down to receive attention. I think it's Serena.
Yeah, I think it is Serena, Piddy. He got caught up in a tackle there as the game was progressing.
News of another goal just coming in. And Torino have equalised against Lazio in the Olympic Stadium. So it's Lazio 1, Torino 1. Aguilera scoring for Torino. And there's the incident when Serena was hurt.
No, that was a hell of a body check as well from Bergami.
If you don't argue with Bergami, he's a pretty rugged defender. And he certainly caught Serena then. And the referee, I think, is saying either he can carry on or he has to go off. So Serena able to continue. But maybe they'll take this opportunity to make a switch. If Serena has been winded. They have Bertarelli among the substitutes, who's featured quite a bit this season. Indeed, scored last week in that excellent win over Genoa in the Genovese derby. Lana, who's just passed the ball, was a scorer too. And Lana in this 11, the only Genoa-born player in the Sampdoria side. Igovic. Now Carini. Fouled by Patchev. It's still all rather untidy. No real shape to the game at the moment. And it does desperately need a goal. Tripped by Patchev. Mancini will try to set something up then for Sampdoria. Zenga making sure the angles are right ahead of him in that three-man wall. Some of the free kicks, Ray, have been very disappointing today.
Yeah, I think they're far too over-adventurous, those free kicks. They're never going to beat Zenga from that sort of distance. He's got to bend it round the wall, which takes pace off it anyway. It's different if you're actually driving the ball at goal. You can get that power in it, but when you're trying to bend it as well, you're actually taking the pace away. So it's very seldom you're going to beat a goalkeeper of his class.
Lombardo's through ball. Didn't give too much chance, though, to Mancini. Here's Shalimov. The Inter fans wanting a little more urgency from their team. A sloppy pass then to Bianchi. Shalimov now.
It was sloppy again, but the Sampdoria players are making it very, very difficult for Inter to play those little intricate moves. They're really pushing up as a good group, good solid group.
Sosa's offside from the pass by Patchev.
I think going back to them free kicks, it would be far better for Mancini, even if you've got big Des, to bring Des Walker up there and whip a ball in so he can attempt to get across someone and get a header in. I don't think they're ever going to score with these long-range shots from that distance.
Manini. Down for Jugovic from Mancini. Still, Inter haven't got it away, but now they can as it wriggles away from Mancini. Sosa's on the break. Almost a collision between the two Sampdoria defenders then. One of them, Des Walker. Lana was the other.
No, Des did ever so well there. He covered across and took the ball away from Sosa. That was good defending from Des.
Foul on Invernizzi. Third goal for AC Milan. They're now 3 up away to Napoli, so I think we can say they've won that one all right. Iranio has scored the third goal to add to those earlier 2 from Van Basten. Shot in, great save! Oh, what a stop then by Zenga.
That was brilliant football all round. That was a great pass in. Lombardo laid off a tremendous pass there, right into the path. I think it was Serena coming onto it.
It was.
And cool, what a save from Zenga. I think
Really athletic stop.
if Saki was watching that, he might get a little shout.
So disappointment for Sampdoria. Serena bringing the best out of Walter Zenga.
But that's the way Sampdoria have got to play. They've got to get those balls into feet. They can't put them up in the air because Ferry and Bergamy will just gobble them up. If they move the ball quickly into feet and get people supporting, I'm sure they'll create more chances.
Carini. There'll be a fresh spring in Sampdoria's step now, following that near miss. The game is still there to be won. Jugovic, his perseverance almost paying off, but Zenga is there.
Did ever so well, Jugovic, to even get the ball in. That was a great cross from there.
And this news will please the Sampdoria followers and their team. Genoa have now conceded an equaliser to Cagliari. Genoa, of course, their great rivals. It's 2-2. Genoa 2, Cagliari 2. And Parma are a goal up against Pescara, the bottom club. Pizzi, a former Inter player, has given Parma the lead. Mancini on the chase. They have worked very, very hard in this game, Sampdoria. And they might have nicked a goal just now. So the warning signs were out for Inter.
I think that's the way they've set out to play as well, Pete. They've came here, obviously, for the draw, to be very compact in the field. And if they do get the chance, then they'll hopefully take it.
Sosa. Good strike. Terrific save by Baliuka.
And the important thing from that save from Baliuka is he stands on his feet. As the shot comes in from Sosa, it's a tremendous shot, but normally they go down. He's up, he's standing on his feet, and he can get to the second ball if need be.
Sosa taking the corner, and Baliuka holding on. And again, he came to his team's rescue. You think of Sosa as being a left-footed player, he's pretty lethal on the right too.
Well, for a swinger, that wasn't a bad half volley, was it? That was a tremendous hit from Sosa, who's looked, I would say, the most positive striker on the field today. He's had a good game with Sosa.
But a few signs now that the game is beginning to liven up, and maybe we will find a goal after all. Lana bursting forward. Now Serena. Here's Mancini. Sampdoria building thoughtfully. But can they find a way to break Inter down? Well, Mancini had got away at the far post.
Yeah, that was another good ball. I think it's from Jugovic. I've seen Mancini bring them down, actually. He's been a bit ambitious trying to find someone with his header.
I think he's been known to score on the volley from that sort of range. So much variety to Mancini's game, and he does score some spectacular goals. So does this fellow, Ruben Sosa, policed by Walker, and he's forced him into the error. Manini.
That's good defending from Des. He knew when he got his back to the goal, he knew that he could close him down as much as he possibly wanted, and Sosa couldn't do anything, and the finisher just ended up giving the ball to the Sampdoria.
Sacchetti failing to keep it in play. Paganin. Pachev lurking again. Good awareness shown by Des Walker to deny him an opportunity. Walker and Lana have got their hands full now, containing Sosa and Pachev. Paganin taking the throw. Bianchi. No free kick. Bianchi's won it back again. Did well that, Bianchi. Mancini. Invernizzi. And Sampdoria endeavour to play themselves out of trouble and maybe do create some at the other end. Serena, no, denied by the tackle from Daisy Derry. Then Lombardo wins it back. Very competitive game. And Sampdoria on the charge again now with Lombardo. Not too much support though for him. And he settles for the throw. Serena.
He's done that on a number of occasions, Serena. He's looking to obviously get the 1-2 going with Mancini, but he's playing into a group of Inter players, 4 or 5 players there, and he's trying to pick out one guy, and it's a very, very difficult pass to do.
Shalimov for Inter. Still no goals in the San Siro as Inter press forward again. Away by Walker. There's Berti. Now Pachev. Another golden opportunity which Darko Pachev has failed to accept.
Well, that must go down as a glaring opportunity. Pagliuca comes out and hesitates. There he goes. He hesitates, manages to stay up on his feet. And Pachev just snatching at it. That's because he's not been playing. That's because he's frustrated at not being playing. But he's actually put that high into the stand. I feel a bit sorry for him. He's not really been involved in the game. And I can sympathise with what he's going through. It isn't very pleasant.
Well, he was quick enough to spot the opening, to be in the right place, but he couldn't finish it off. And Pagliuca hadn't really closed him down sufficiently, so there can't really be a complaint from Pachev in that quarter. He had enough time to score, and he will be very, very disappointed.
Now the referee's given a free kick for that. That's a scandalous decision. Invernizzi is all he's done. He's gone down there to put him under a bit of pressure. Paganin does well to clear it. Good defending.
And Paganin has an injury now, which is going to need some attention. That's Invernizzi with him there. Ferry, rather hopeful ball forward. Carini with Invernizzi. Paganin snapping into the tackle. Lana, Serena, Pagliuca with time to control it. He could pick out a teammate.
Well, he did that very nice, didn't he, Pagliuca? It was a lovely first touch, giving himself plenty of time to pick out the left-sided player Invernizzi.
Ferry. Up goes Berti. Lana was there. Ramazani lost control. And the only way he could win the ball back was by fouling Mancini.
I'd like to see that again, because I think Tramezzani actually gets a foot in here on the ball. There you go, yeah. Just the slightest of touches, but Mancini's been in that position many times and he knows exactly what to do.
But Tramezzani will feel a little hard done by there, and with good reason.
He's had a very good game for a young guy. He's come in there and he's really made it his own there. He's played a super match today. And they've got a few more players in there, Sampdoria.
Mancini taking the free kick. Only partially cleared, and Serena couldn't keep it down this time.
It's got to be worth their while bringing the big guns up for those free kicks from those sort of areas. They've only got to have one good delivery, one good header, and the game could be theirs. They've defended well.
Sosa, very, very deep. Shalimov to Ferry. Again, the ball is too long, though, overhit by Ferry. And the break could be on for Sampdoria. Invernizzi. Now then for Mancini. Serena losing out. Desideri. We've got 3 up in this attack. Sosa now. Pachev has pulled into the middle, And the cross too long, and Paliuka very nearly got stuck in the goal net. Shouldn't do that anyway.
He's put under a lot of pressure, Sosa, from Des Walker again. I think Desi's pace has frightened Sosa. He doesn't really fancy getting involved in a race with Des.
I thought the goal was going to come down there. Shalimov. This is Paganin. Inter still striving for this opening goal, which has eluded them so far, and they will certainly be looking back now on that penalty miss with a great deal of regret. Bianchi trying to get past three defenders. Serena. Away by Carini. Shalimov. Now Desideri. Good tackle though by Manini to deprive him of the opportunity. Lombardo. Striding elegantly forward. This is Invernizzi. Trying to line himself up for the shot, thought better of it. Carini. Down by Berti, who was in danger of rattling that. It was a bit risky. Invernizzi. Jugovic. And it's Kramazani who dispossessed him. Shalimov. Still is a game that could go either way. Very few genuine opportunities in the game. A very, very tight contest. Not so tight, though, I think, in Naples. Van Basten has got a hat-trick, and it's 4-0 now to Milan, so they're romping away with that one. It's 11 now for the season for Van Basten. What a player.
It's extraordinary, isn't it? They just go to Naples and wipe them aside 4-0. It's an incredible outfit they are, Milan.
Well, there's no Van Basten in this game today. The finishing has left something to be desired, really. Lombardo. Still time for a goal. Lombardo with a fierce strike. And a tremendous save again by Zenga.
Oh, my word, that was a shot as well. Lombardo just cannon onto that and really lets fly here. That's dipping all over the place, and again, Zenga does well to get that away. That's a good save.
Shalimov.
I think of the two managers, Eriksson would be the happier. They've worked very, very hard for each other at Sampdoria.
And they certainly could have sneaked it. No question about that, and may yet do so. Walker, again, just sensibly finding Serena. Now he has given it away, though. In goes Sosa. Sampdoria being pinned back now. Berti. There's no time, though, to dwell on the ball. Shalimov to Bianchi. Immediately surrounded by white shirts. Paganin. Bianchi had made the run, and he was covered by Sacchetti, who retained his composure.
Again, that was good defending as a group from Sampdoria. They got him into an area where they wanted to. Paganin been put under pressure by two players, overhits the pass, and Bianchi hasn't got a chance. I'm sure Eriksson will be delighted from that aspect of the way the Sampdorian side have played.
Bergomi. This is Paganin for Inter. Sacchetti, again the Inter fans showing their frustration and their impatience. They expect so much of their team and certainly do not settle for second best. And I wasn't too pleased to hear that Milan are 4 up.
I was just about to say that will be filtering through the stadium, and they won't be too pleased with Milan being 4 goals up in Naples.
Shalimov, Lombardo. Actually, it's not 4, Ray, it's 5 now. And a chap called Van Basten scored.
My goodness.
And the cheer you may have heard earlier on was because Cagliari have taken the lead against Genoa, so the cheer would have been from the Sampdoria following. Oliveira, the scorer. 3-2 up now, Cagliari. Goals everywhere else, Ray.
Yes, I think it's every other game has actually got a goal, and unfortunately we're the only stalemate. Still got plenty of time, though.
And all the goals that have been scored today you can see on Saturday morning, of course, in Gazzetta, Paul Gascoigne's show at 10:30 on Channel 4. And of course, Ray Wilkins has achieved something this weekend that these players haven't. In this game, he scored a goal. An exquisite one it was, too. A fluke, he says. So certainly in the second half, there have been plenty of chances, and we could so easily have had a goal or two.
Yes, I think Panchev especially, had he not had the little bit of ring rust that's obviously in there, may well have taken that opportunity he had. Because he's a proven goal scorer. He's a exceptional striker.
Good running here by Berti. There's so much stamina, this chap. He's done well here. No, Panchev, he wanted a second touch. And again, the confidence was lacking then from Panchev. Bergomi is the defender, trying to hold off Mancini. And the referee has penalised Mancini, who does not agree.
That was a good chase, wasn't it? But I think in the finish he does actually, or does he? I think he had a fair attempt for the ball. He did initially have a little pull on him, but that was a good race for the ball.
Two old campaigners together. And it was Bergomi who got the better of them. But we'll talk about that Panchev miss in a moment. Let's just stay with the play here as Ferry pumps it forward again. To no great effect, though. Sampdoria back on their heels here. Bianchi. Panchev and Sosa waiting in the middle. Doesn't reach them. The Sampdoria defence revealing its durability again. Torini. Serena. And Zenga with the save, which certainly tested him.
But they'll be happy Inter if they can restrict them to hit them from 35 yards. They haven't really penetrated that much, Sampdoria.
Panchev at the other end was a lot closer than that.
Yes, he was. Again, it was he wanted the extra touch. Perhaps a swing on his left foot may have been the better option. But Berti did ever so well. He got Des squared up on the penalty area and stuck it through his legs and managed to get the ball in.
Maganin on from Bianchi, just got the faintest of touches then. Shalimov. Invernizzi to Mancini. But Inter have got it back again. And they have the scent of a goal now. Sacchetti away. Mancini. This is Invernizzi was a very hard-working player, maybe not as influential in an attacking sense as some of the other players around him, but my word, he toils away.
He is. He's a miniature Mick Jagger, is Invernizzi. If you can get a close-up on him, he really is a ringer from Mick Jagger. But Inter now have resorted to trying to pump long balls into corners and get Panchev and the likes of Sosa galloping into corners, where before, when the likes of Sammer were on the ball, they played their better football and created a lot more chances.
I hadn't seen the Mick Jagger one before. Yeah, I see what you mean. I think he squealed like him when he went down. Lombardo. 5 minutes to go. Inter 0, Sampdoria 0. Up from Jugovic. Bergomi, not a very good header away. Manini, chase that one, he says.
That wasn't the most cultured football that we've seen in Italian football this year.
It wasn't, was it?
They were just booting that ball everywhere. It's the game really hasn't lived up to what we anticipated. I think purely and simply Sampdoria have got themselves behind the ball on every occasion they possibly could and made it really tough for Inter to get through.
Sacchetti heading clear. Ferry. Again, it's an up and under. And it's lacked a bit of style and panache, this game. Certainly in contrast with some of the earlier matches we've had this season. Lombardo. Manini. Serena. And collected by Zenga. That was an offside anyway. Paganin. Here's Shalimov. Inter still persevering, still hoping for something. Bachev, penalty was held back. Not to Feli Innocuous challenge though, and that was the way the referee saw it. Invernizzi now. Still time for Sampdoria to sneak it as well. They'll have to get a bit further forward though.
We're just having a bad couple of minutes there, aren't we? I think Sampdoria have definitely settled for their point.
Mancini, maybe not Ray. Still Mancini. Lombardo. He drives a venomous shot again. This time it didn't get through. And of course, when they have found a way past this into defence, Sampdoria then have Mortazenga to contend with. He's had a marvellous afternoon.
He's looked very good, hasn't he, Zenga? I think that's been one of the bright spots. He pulled off a couple of really good saves, and has kept us ticking over this afternoon. But Sampdoria are going to be absolutely delighted if they get a point out of this, because that's what they've come for. That's the way they set their system out to play. 4 right across the middle of the field. And as soon as they lose possession of the ball, get everybody behind it and make it really tough for Inter. So they'll be quite pleased if they come out of this with a draw.
Sosa skipping past the tackles. 3 waiting in the middle. 4 in the penalty box now. They'll have to start all over again though. Shalimov. Into the last minute of the game. Bergomi. There's Paganin. Down goes Berti, somewhat theatrically, but it was certainly a foul. So the pressure is back on Sampdoria now in the last few seconds of the game. Bianchi wants to take the free kick. Carini won't let him. There's a lot of activity in that penalty box. Bergomi has come forward. And Sampdoria wasting a few more seconds and maybe hoping that Inter will lose their concentration by making a substitution here. Invernizzi going off and replaced by young Chiesa. Enrico Chiesa, who won't have too much time to shine. Here's the kick then from Bianchi. Shalimov wins it back. Defender streaming out, but not far enough. There's no offside. And that'll be a corner. It came off Lombardo. We're now into injury time. The Inter fans doing their best now to raise their team to find this elusive first goal. Ramazani taking the kick. And surely that defender wasn't far enough away, which was the point Ramazani was making. And Shalimov's shot sails harmlessly wide.
Ramazani did make that point to the referee, but still insisted on hitting it as low as his head. He's got to get the ball up and into the box if they've got to have a chance. He actually asked the referee to take him back, but he said no, that was the distance required, and he still drilled it into his head.
Lana's long kick, headed on by Lombardo. Paganin. Inter with just 1 draw before today. They'd won 5 and lost 2. Sampdoria have had a couple of draws. They've won 4 and just the 1 defeat by Fiorentina. Desideri. On by Pachev towards Sosa. Now Desideri, and he scuffed his shot. Well, no wonder he's holding his head in anguish.
Yes, that is Desideri's swinger, as it were. Great awareness again from Sosa. Lovely little overhead kick. And there you see not the best technique in the world from Desideri, and straight into Pagliuca's arms.
Shalimov. Hustled, but he's carried on. Still Shalimov. Paganin with Bianchi. Now Berti, can he get away from Lana? No, it was a perfectly executed tackle then by the Sampdoria defender Lana. We've had almost 2 minutes now of stoppage time.
Yeah, that was a great tackle, wasn't it, from Lana? There we go again. Manages to keep the ball in play as well. And then just bumps into Berti and gets the free kick he knew he would.
Another substitution. Mancini is going off. And Bertarelli is going to take his place. Not for long. Just trying to get the referee's attention. Not sure whether Mancini has an injury. I thought there's too much point in replacing him otherwise.
I think he's run himself into the ground, actually, Peter. He's been everywhere up the front this afternoon. He hasn't really touched the ball that often, but he certainly works hard, and the team starts defending from the front. And when Mancini and Serena are working hard to put people under pressure, then it makes it doubly difficult for sides to get out of their own area.
Almost at the end of this game now. Ferry. And Sampdoria now just happy to concede the ball as long as it's deep in their opponent's territory. Sosa couldn't shake off Manini. As the seconds tick away, and Zenga will try to launch maybe one last assault here. Chiesa. This is Carini. Closed down by Berti. Inter desperate to win the ball back again. And there's no real option for Zenga other than to hoist a long kick upfield now in the hope of something. 4 minutes of injury time. Can't recall all that many injuries in the second half, but there we are, the referee's seen some.
No, that is a long time to be playing over. We have gone nearly 4.5 minutes. I think that's it.
He has blown the final whistle now. And overall, a disappointing 0-0 draw, one has to say. Neither team really firing on all cylinders. Sampdoria, certainly though, Ray, will be much happier with that result than Inter.
Yeah, they'll be absolutely delighted. It was quite obvious that they came to hit them on the break if they possibly could, but defend very well, and they defended. Sosa missed the early penalty, which I think would obviously have put the game in a better light. Sampdoria would have to come out to get something. Unfortunately, it didn't materialise, and we ended up with a pretty scrappy afternoon, really. We've been a bit spoilt the last couple of weeks, seen some great football.
Well, let's look back on one or two of the major incidents in the game. And there certainly were chances for both sides to have won it. And this is the first of them, of course, when Bianchi plays the ball through here to Berti.
Yes, that's right. And then we have Des lunging at Berti and giving away the penalty. I thought it was a penalty as soon as the incident happened. There goes the ball again. And I can't honestly see where Berti's going to be going from there. He's actually going to the dead ball line where Lombardo would have cut him off, and the referee was quite right in awarding a penalty.
So here's the kick then, Ray, and credit really to Pagliuca.
Yeah, that's right. He's gone the wrong way, but he realises his feet are as important as his hands in this instance. And there it is, a good volley as well as he cracks it away. I think Sosa will be very, very disappointed that he missed that. And here we have Sosa breaking off. I think it's Desi's shoulder there. Plays a little ball inside to Panchev. Panchev again with perhaps a little bit more composure, match practice, and there's another chance for Panchev. A little bit of match practice and confidence, he would have taken that. I'm sure in his Red Star Belgrade days, he'd have slapped that in the back of the net.
So a couple of let-offs for Sampdoria.
Ah, that was the great pass. That was from Carini, and there we have Mancini, possibly the most accomplished goal taker on display this afternoon. Just lifting it past Senga's right hand upright. He'll be very disappointed that he didn't score there.
But a really excellent pass that found him. Now, into the second half.